I'm Adan Castaneda, nationally certified expert life coach, recovery coach, intervention professional. I'm also a United States Marine Corps veteran, combat veteran. I served in the Iraq War. I served as in the infantry as a scout sniper in Iraq during a time of war after 9/11, around 2006, 2007. So I struggled with, warfare, PTSD, a lot of trauma, and this is my history. This is why I use drugs, and a lot of drugs, heroin, pills, meth, coke, a lot of pills, Xanax, Valium, sleeping pills, alcohol, weed, DXM, things over the counter, and a lot of illicit controlled substances, which I would mix. I was a trash can junkie, okay? Like anything you should throw in the trash can, I would ingest. And I never got as far as to inject. I don't have HIV, which I'm thankful for. I didn't lose my life, but I've got health complications from heavy drug use. I nearly died many times. I survived, thank God. But the purpose of this video, if you purchased the recovery protocol, you have made a decision you want to get clean, okay? I wanted to give you my background, and now we need to get you clean. You made that decision, you purchased the program, you've been following me for a little bit, you know a little bit about me, and I want to help you get there, okay? How we're going to do that is right now, you need to immediately go through your social media, start disconnecting accounts, disconnect all your social media. You don't need it. I don't have social media. That's where people connect. Let me tell you a story. There was this guy I met at a hospital, and he connected with me on Facebook. Facebook is notorious. That's where sex predators lurk. That's where drug traffickers lurk. That's where the cartel lurks. They recruit gang members. A lot of drug trafficking on Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat. All these social media platforms, X, Twitter, all these is where a lot of bad things and illegal, heinous things happen. People go missing, abductions happen, people get kidnapped. People will meet you up for drugs and then they just disappear, or they get raped and put in the sex trade and then they get murdered later. A lot of bad things happen, and some of these things are in the news. Some people, they don't speak out about it too much, but these are huge platforms where bad things happen. I've almost been a victim. I had a friend message me on Facebook. We met up. You get their number, then it's not on the social media platform anymore. Then it's on a different service. It's on a phone service now. Now you're communicating. Now you're like, we're going to meet up here. You meet up, you party, you have fun, you do drugs, whatever. You think it's cool, but you end up nearly losing your life. If you go to raves or anything, you do ecstasy, that can fry your brain, overheat, and die. But that's how I met this guy, and he sold me drugs, which I overdosed on, which was laced with something that clogged up my throat, probably either a dose of cyanide, maybe some combat spray or something like that, so, laced with insect repellent, something that was designed probably for insects or rodents or whatever it was, designed to kill me. And people probably died like that, and it nearly killed me. I had to drink a lot of water. I drank a gallon of water and went to the hospital. I got a shot of medicine. My throat started clearing up, but it was like a thick mucus I was something going wrong with me, and I couldn't barely breathe. It was like breathing through a coffee straw. And I just laid there and let my body heal itself, let the water kind of flush it out. And I had to drink so much water, it was painful. And I had to drink so much that right before I would throw up, I had to drink enough, as much as I could. So that was like a cure for me. Some people have to, and I had to get medicine. I had to go to hospital too. So sometimes, that stuff can really mess with you. I had another overdose experience on meth where, things started shutting down. I started blanking out, started seeing stars, started not being able to understand what I'm saying. My organs started failing. It was very difficult to make a bowel movement, and I felt like I was dying. And my blood pressure was sky high. The nurses, I was at a hospital because drugs got smuggled in. It was a psych hospital, and they said I should be dead. My blood pressure was so messed up, and I have atrial fibrillation. I have a heart murmur. And my heart's in poor condition, but I'm 40 years old. I made it this far, and I want to help you make it as far as you can in life sober. So what you need to do is disconnect social media. You'll meet with friends there. If that's how you're meeting your drug dealers, then you need to discontinue those connections, okay? If you're not meeting them there, well, they can find you there, especially if you have a name or they know that you're alias or anything, they'll find you. And then that's when you're gonna meet up. Even if you've been sober for 1 or 2 years, you'll relapse, you'll meet up, and then they'll sell you something, you'll be depressed or something, and or you want to have fun, or maybe some mania or bipolar disorder, whatever your underlying issue is, trauma, bipolar disorder, mental illness, schizophrenia, or depression, people use for different reasons, many times trauma. And so whatever reason, you don't want to relapse, you don't want that to happen to you, because you could easily lose your life, okay? So disconnect social media, X, Twitter, all of them, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, all the social medias, just delete them, okay? When you go through your contacts in your phone, look at John, Travis, Scott, whoever these people's names are, your drug dealers, right? I had a drug dealer, his name was Hustle. Sometimes they don't want you to know their name. They give you a fake name. Another fake name was Chase, Hustle. These fake drug dealers, they go on the street, they have these aliases so people don't know if they get caught. If the other drug dealers below them, underneath them, get caught, they can't snitch on them because they're like, who's selling you these drugs? Oh, Chase, Hustle. And what's your last name? Is that the real name? No, I don't know. Where's the address? You don't know. So you can't find them, you can't snitch on them. That's a way for them to get away and just be a ghost. But yeah, Chase, Hustle, these fake alias names. Now, you want to, whatever their phone numbers are, delete them, okay? Or what you may want to do is just say, I don't want drugs anymore, don't contact me anymore, or I'll get the police involved. If you don't want to say that far, it's kind of like a threat. You don't want to scare them off or like get them pissed off or whatever, but just say, I don't want drugs anymore, stay away from me. I'm going to change my life. I'm going to stay sober. I'm going to turn my life around. Or you could just ghost them. Just delete their contact. Don't meet them anywhere. They might try to find you and come to your place, come to your house. Hey, what happened? I can't get a hold of you. You want some drugs? And so if that happens, you might have to call the cops, or just tell them, be face to face. Hey, from brother to brother, brother to sister, if it's a man or woman, from just man to man, I don't want to do drugs anymore. You might have to tell them face to face, So that's the hard part because you've been in the flow of doing drugs so much. It's hard to say no, especially in person, especially if you know this person, there's a relationship and they're your friend. But if you can just delete all their contact information, never contact them again. What I did, that's what I did, okay? I deleted all my drug dealers' contact information. I deleted all my social media and I moved. That's the big thing. So if you have an apartment, just let the contract go up, get a new apartment, move to a new location. If they go hunting you out, hunting you down, scouting for your apartment where you used to live, they're not going to find you, okay? They can find someone else, not you. And then they'll just be like, I don't know who you're looking for. They don't live here, so they won't find you. But if you can move to another apartment, I know it's hard with contracts. You might have to move in with family. Go somewhere safe where you feel safe. You might have to go to a detox center and then tell the apartment complex you had to get hospitalized, for illness and, trauma and these things are happening to you and you need to get better. And maybe they'll understand and give you leniency. They won't charge you so much for months that, you're not living there. Maybe they'll let you terminate the lease early, maybe. But, just communicate with them and let them know. But, if you live in a house, you might have to leave the city or the state if you have children, and you don't want if your child is like a drug addict, you don't want them to fall victim to fentanyl. So you might have to leave the city and state. Try to just give them a new chance, a new opportunity to start over and start fresh and start clean. But if you're the addict and you're listening to this, move in with family, move to a new apartment if you can, okay? And if not, just be as strong as possible with these drug dealers because they are trying to take your life. They are trying to, they might not knowingly be doing it, but that is what's happening. They're aggressively attacking you with these poisons that are damaging brain cells, damaging your endocrine system, your limbic system, your heart, your liver, your kidneys. It's putting stress on all your organs, and it's highly addictive. And if you're doing a lot of meth, it's going to mess up your teeth. I did a lot of meth to where one of my teeth started loosening up, and I had to quit. And I healed, but some people I know, their teeth fall out and they rot, and it messes up their skin and everything. So you don't want to be that. You don't want to lose your health, all right? You're going to lose your health. You're going to lose your dignity, your pride, and your mental and physical health. You don't want that to happen to you, okay? So disconnect social media. Go to a safe place. Just find somewhere safe. If you can, go to a detox center. Go to a recovery center, a rehab, okay? And if you have insurance, that's best because those places are $20,000 to $30,000 to $40,000 a month, okay? If your insurance covers it, that's great. If you don't have insurance, you need to get insurance. If you're very desperate, okay? If you're very desperate, you don't have insurance, you need to go somewhere or get your kids somewhere to safety. Try taking them to a psych ward. A lot of psych wards, veterans like the VA will take you for free. Civilian psych wards, I believe there's some where you can go for free if you're hearing voices, you're hallucinating, And if you're doing drugs, you're hallucinating, hearing voices. You're not. And if you're a danger to yourself and others, so you just say, I'm a danger to myself, I'm addicted, I'm going to die, and all this stuff. And, these poisons are killing me, and I can't help myself. And they'll do their best to maybe give you a bed or open up a spot at a hospital. And if they don't accept you, like there's a few hospitals in San Antonio, Laurel Ridge, San Antonio State Hospital. Most major cities have psychiatric units. And try to find another one. Try to find a different one. If one doesn't take you, just go to another one. And maybe say more extreme things to get you admitted. I do hear voices. I do hallucinate. I am thinking of hurting myself. And you're not lying, because you're thinking about doing drugs. That's hurting yourself. And, so just say you're thinking about death a lot, and you need to get your mind straight. You're unstable, and you need to stabilize. And if you do that, they might put you on medicine. You're on drugs anyway, so you might as well take psychiatric drugs. And with psychiatric drugs, that's helped me reduce cravings for drugs, because it balances out neurotransmitters. It slows you down. It slows down a little bit your organs, but also your mental state, all those racing thoughts and everything, and a little bit of cravings. There's some drugs out there like Wellbutrin, which is a smoking cessation drug. Drugs like Chantix, which is a smoking cessation drug. And some of these psychiatric drugs aren't really designed to help you have to stop your cravings for drugs or alcohol, but that's an effect of mine. And they have some pills designed to kind of stop that effect for alcohol. But for me, I take Sustenna and Vega. It's pretty expensive, but I haven't relapsed in about 10 years. So, they have Haldol, Abilify, Zyprexa, which is olanzapine. That's an okay drug, okay? And it can help. But that's what you need to do. Get situated, get your mind straight, go somewhere safe, recover, get help, get some medical treatment, see a counselor, a doctor. Really get with your family, okay? Get with your family. And if you really don't trust yourself, if you're a serious addict, get your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, your stepfather, whoever you have close to you, a cousin. And if you don't have anybody for orphan or foster kid, just the closest friend you have, one that you trust with your life. And if you trust them with your life, you're going to trust them with your money, your wallet, everything you have, your ID, your money, everything, social security card, everything. Give them access to your bank account. You could call your bank and give them access. You can also just, if you have any cash, just give it to them. Give them your credit card. Let them handle it. Say, whenever I need money, just pull out some money, give me money for groceries, okay? Or just let them manage your finances. Let them manage your finances. That way, whenever a drug dealer comes to you, anywhere, in a psych ward, on the street, or whatever, like maybe your old friends, your old, drug dealer friends or whatever, you can say, I don't have any money. I don't have any money. And that's what they want. If you don't have any money, if they give you free drugs, just say no thanks. And if you really feel, if you feel little bit in fear, like you have to take it, I felt that way before, take the drugs, go home and flush them. Don't do them, just flush them. And that's really the first thing you also need to do before you, all this stuff. If you have a stash, flush it, whatever it is. And it's not best for the sewage system or whatever, but instead of throwing it away or whatever, you don't want evidence, on your property or anything like that, flush it, okay? A lot of people do it, they filter it through the system, the sewage and all that, but you need to get rid of it, otherwise you're gonna do it, and you can OD on it. I OD'd on some pills, and I was like, this is bad. I felt like I was throwing up. I was dry heaving. I was throwing up. All of it wasn't coming up. I was like, damn, I could die. And I still had a bag full of pills left. I'm like, damn, I can't take this. I'm gonna die. I flushed it. I knew better. You have to flush your stash. Some people flush it so the cops don't arrest them, or like before they get arrested, so there's no evidence or whatever. But I'm telling you to flush your stash so you don't do any. So it's too late. Like, even if you have the craving, you don't have a stash anymore. You don't have any money because you gave it to your best friend or your mother, your father, your sister, your cousin, your brother. You don't have money. You don't have drugs. You're clean. You have to get clean. Just push through it. All you have to do is push through it. I was addicted to heroin for about a month. And by that time, my body became so dependent on it. When I stopped, it was painful. I stopped because I didn't have money. I had some money, but I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is way too expensive. It's costing me everything. I can't afford to live. I can't afford rent. I can't afford groceries. Hundreds and hundreds of dollars a week, going to this heroin addiction. And, it wasn't worth it. My legs hurt. I had trouble breathing. I had night fever sweats and all that. I was waking up in hot flashes. My legs were hurting bad. I felt like throwing up. I felt terrible, and I couldn't sleep at all, and I was just in pain. I had to walk it off. I was just laying there. My legs were hurting. I was kind of screaming. I was screaming. And, you know, that's the hard part about it. When you hear those stories, it's painful, and it sucks. And you just have to, you want to use, it's not just a psychological dependency, but the physical dependency of it. I know this is dangerous with heroin or alcohol, but you have to push through. I quit cold turkey. If you have to, get medical help, get the methadone, Suboxone, whatever they have for, you know, heroin addicts and or meth addicts. If you're addicted to that, they have things to wean off and taper off. It's called harm reduction. But you know, if it's not too extreme, if you're not injecting, if you're just snorting, or you know that your dose was small, then try if you can. Quit cold turkey, and if you have symptoms, go to hospital, get help. They'll treat you. Okay, tell them, you know, what you need help with. And that's what I recommend. If you're strong, if you're capable, I'm strong. I have, you know, military discipline, and I had, you know, physical strength of all the training that I endured in the military. So I had the mindset and the mental fortitude and the mental and physical strength just to push through it, no matter how painful it was. And for most people, that's not easy. Civilians or, you know, just regular people, it's tough, you know, but it's hard. But that's what I did. So I know anyone can do that. Anyone can do that, no matter who you are. You know, if you have the will, you have the inner will and the strength, and you believe in yourself, and you want a future for yourself, especially if you have children. If you have children, you know, and you have family, and you love your family, you don't want to love drugs more than you love your family. You don't want to be using drugs more than you spend time with your family. More time with the drug dealers and your friends, your so-called friends, that are drug addicts and degenerates, misfits, probably gang members, and you know, just criminals. Really, they're doing drugs, selling drugs, people overdosing, getting high, people probably dying from fentanyl overdose. These aren't good people. These aren't really friends you want around, to be around. If you're watching this video, you want to be around your family. You want to start fresh, and you want to make amends with your family. Okay. You're going to start writing letters to your family. You're going to start writing letters to those who are close to you that you've hurt. Say, I want to change. This is my letter. You need to make this letter. This is, I want to quit doing drugs. I want to quit. I want to be a part of the family again. I want to go to family events. I want to go to family barbecues. I want to go to family events and, you know, restaurants, and talk with family and have, you know, normal conversations, and just be a part of the family once again, you know. So if you've hurt them, you've stolen money from them, if you've disrespected them, if you've had an attitude, say, I want to change. I want to be a better person. I want to upgrade and improve my character. I want to have better character. I want to have the character of a good man or a good woman, you know. I want to be kind-hearted. I want to be wise and competent, you know. I want to be sober, you know. I want to go to school. I want to go to college. I want to get a job. And this is another thing you're going to have to do. You're going to have to get a job after you recover. This could take a month or two. This could take a few weeks if you're quick, but really it's going to take a month or two to where you have to do something. You have to be active. You have to move around. You're used to the drugs. You have to get used to starting to work. What I recommend is you have to become a workaholic. Try to become a workaholic. Just try. Try to become a perfectionist at what you do, the best in your field, whether you work at a nuclear power plant, whether you're a cybersecurity specialist, whether you're a nurse, whether you are just a trash man, whether you work in construction or demolition, or you build houses or tile floors, or work on cars, or work on planes, or for women, you know, they have receptionist jobs or social worker jobs or peer support specialist jobs, right? And nurses and doctors, nurse practitioners. So there's jobs out there for anyone, men, women of any age. You have to become a workaholic. Just become obsessed with work, because if you're good at it, that should be your main goal, to support your family, to support a family. Gay, straight, doesn't matter. Trans, doesn't matter. If you want a family, even if you're just single and you want to support yourself, you know, you have to have a good job to do that. You know, if you want to live the American dream with a dog, a house, white picket fence, you know, and maybe even an apartment, a nice luxury apartment, or just a decent apartment, you know, you have to support yourself, and you have to be good at what you do so you don't get fired, okay? So the boss respects you, and your peers respect you, and customers respect you. You want to be respected, and you have to respect yourself as well, okay? That's one of the main things. So now my mentor, when I studied cybersecurity, he applied to 800 jobs. I've applied to hundreds. Now you want to apply to, I would say 1,000. Just make that your goal. Apply to 10 jobs a day, and for like 100 days. That's just a little over 3 months. That's 100 days. 100 times 10 a day. That's 1,000. That's 1,000 jobs in 100 days. A little over 3 months. Every single day. Just apply to 10 jobs. You can do auto apply. There's LinkedIn. There's Monster.com. There's Indeed, .com. There's all these websites for recruitment. You can find a recruiter. If it's possible, if you don't have a record, if you're young enough, you might be able to get a waiver to join the military. Army, Marine Corps, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard. You might be able to. Don't hold me to that, but it's just a possibility because they can offer you a waiver if it's a fit. If it's a fit for you, if you pass the ASVAB, if they let you go that far, if it's a time of war, and it kind of is a time of war, if they need people, if they're low on recruits, if they're not making their recruitment goals, they may give you a waiver, right? They could give waivers for certain offenses. Usually drugs is not one. There's a zero tolerance for drugs in the military, okay? So if you can't get in, it is tough, that's just something you can try, okay? But I didn't have that problem because I never did drugs before I joined the military, only after, because of my PTSD and mental illness that I suffered from. So, these are jobs. Apply to 1,000. So many, just 10 jobs a day. Look them up. There's so many different jobs. That the side hustles and things like that, remote jobs, work from home jobs, and even college. For me, like if I could go back, I would become an accountant. If you're good with numbers, that's a high class job. You're making $80,000 to $100,000 a year. Working in finance, working with numbers, working with tax preparation, and working with taxes. Taxes. So tax advisory, tax strategy, things like that, and that's a very good job. Okay. If you want to do anything else, that's fine. Just pick something that you say, this is what I'm going to dedicate myself to for the rest of my life, until I'm old and gray, until I can no longer work, till I'm 80 or 90 years old, and I have to retire because my physical body won't allow me to work anymore. I'm going to work as long as possible. I want to do something with my life. I want to be good at something, and it's in the accounting field. To let you know what I'm doing is bookkeeping. You could get into bookkeeping. You have to study it, train for it, get customers, get a job. I'll tell you the story. I called an insurance company when I got insurance for my bookkeeping company. And the representative told me that her friend works as a bookkeeper. She works for 3 nonprofit organizations. She works for 3 companies at once. And she makes $150,000 a year, okay? So if you could get those jobs and work part-time, let them work on your own schedule, it's a flexible job, it's a work-from-home job, and it's a good job if you're good at it, if you're competent, if you're expert at what you do. So that's something I'm getting into. If you want to follow my journey, you could get into bookkeeping. You have to study accounting software. You have to study debits and credits. You have to study accounting principles, okay? And how the software works, and dealing with customers and clients and your bosses, okay? So this is what I recommend. Look for work, delete all your contacts, flush your stash, delete all the contacts with your drug dealers. Don't contact them anymore. If they come up to you in person, say, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Get an accountability partner, okay? Get an accountability partner. Get an AA sponsor. If you can, start calling AA groups. Drive around to AA groups. Tell them you need a sponsor. You need an AA sponsor to hold you accountable. Call them every week. If you have to, whenever you feel like relapsing, call them. Call your best friend. Call your accountability partner if you don't have anybody. These are some of the key things you need to do. And this is the first video I'm going to make on, this path to sobriety, okay? You made it this far. Flush your stash. Delete all the contacts from your drug dealers. Delete social media. Find a new place to live. Get a new apartment. Live in a new city, a new state if you have to. New apartment. Don't let anybody know where you live. Find a good job to support yourself. Find a good job. Apply to 1,000 jobs. Like I said, 10 jobs a day for 100 days, okay? And if you need to keep going to 2,000 jobs. As much as you need to, so you find a good job that you like and you can do, that you're physically and mentally capable of doing for long term, okay? So the best vitamin, you need to stay healthy. You need to start drinking water. Get addicted to water. Get addicted to water. Drink 8 bottles a day. 8 bottles a day. Flush that shit out of your system. Flush it out. Let your kidneys heal. Let your liver heal. Let your body flush those toxins out. And there's a good vitamin called AG1. I'm sure you've heard of it. Just go to Google search AG1. You can buy it on Amazon. You can buy it at Costco. You know, AG1. You can buy it at some grocery chains. So look it up. Just take 1 scoop a day. It's easy. It's not a heavy bottle. It's not a pill. It's just a scoop of powder. You mix it in a drink. It has vitamins, a broad spectrum, leafy greens, and just drink it. You know, get addicted to that. Drink that once a day. That's going to help you recover. These are your vitamins. This is your temple. This is your body. You get one gift from God. This is your body. You want to take care of it. You know, you don't want it to go to waste. You don't want to waste it. You don't want to mess it up. You don't want to poison it, and you don't want to go incompetent, because if you're doing drugs and you're driving, you could get in a car accident, kill a whole family, kill children and babies, okay? You don't want to be that person. If you're doing drugs and something happens, you know, you want to be able to, you want to be a protector, okay? Not only are you a survivor, you've made it this far, okay? You've survived this far. And this is your intervention. This is a pivot point in your life to where it's a 180-degree turn. It's a fork in the road. You need to make that decision. It's a complete 180. Where you need to get sober, and you need to start doing healthy things for your body. Taking AG1, being healthy, you know, staying sober. Because if something happens, not only do you want to be a survivor, but you want to be a protector. You want to be a protector. You are a survivor, okay? There's no debate on that. But you also want to be a protector. Are you a protector? Can you protect your spouse, your girlfriend, boyfriend? Can you protect your family? Can you protect your children on the street when you're driving? You know, can you protect them at restaurants or places you go, the grocery store, if something happens? Can you protect them? Or are you going to be in a daze, all messed up and confused and high and inebriated and intoxicated and confused and all that? Or will you be able to protect them? Will you be able to speak up, call the cops, get some help, or, you know, fight if you have to, right? To be a good fighter, you need hand and eye coordination. You need to be quick and you need to be strong. You need to work out. To be a protector, you need to be physically strong, have physical and mental strength. Okay, so that for women and men and women, okay, of any age, right? Even a little girl needs to protect her little brother, okay, from bullies, stuff like that. So she needs to be able to speak up and speak out, and, you know, fight if she has to. Do her best, like, you know, do something, get help, call for help. It's the best option. Sometimes, you know, and women, as you grow older, you become stronger, and you can beat up some men. You know, you can get help. The cops will help. They have guns and tasers and mace. They'll do the job for you. Speak up, speak out, be smart. If you're inebriated high, cops aren't going to believe you. You're doing drugs, you got drugs in your system, cops aren't going to believe you, okay? No one's going to believe you. So stay sober, stay competent, keep drugs out of your system, out of your bloodstream. You don't want that shit in your bloodstream. And, you know, you're more likely to be a protector, okay? You're more likely to be protective of your family. You're more likely to continue your path of survival, okay? You're a survival operator, okay? And you're a protector, okay? So I'll leave you on that. Stay tuned for the next videos, and I hope you got some, you know, some good info from this. I hope you got some, you know, inner will, inner strength, inner discipline, some motivation to move forward with your life, make changes in your life, implement these things in your life, these methods, and move forward with your new life, okay? Move forward on your new journey, a new path. And right now, they always say one day at a time. Try to make, this whole next year, I'm going to do this. I'm going to work here. I might get a new job, but I might get a new apartment, new city. But you got to map out. Try to map out the next 50 years, okay? You need to make a vision board. Maybe just think about it. You could write it down on a piece of paper. This is where I want to be in 5 years. I've had doctors ask me that. This is medical stuff. I've had doctors ask me, where do you want to be in 5 years? I say married with kids, you know? I want to have a house. I want to have a nice car. You know, I want to have a good job. I want to make good money. You know, I want to be sober. I want to have health, mental and physical health, you know. So where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 10 years, in 20 years? You know, you want to be maybe retired in 20 years. You work 20 years, you want to be retired. You want to travel the world a little bit. You want to, you know, visit friends and family more. Go on some more Zoom meetings with your family. Visit them in person. Have family get-togethers, reunions, barbecues. Watch the football game with your family, things like that. You know, where do you want to be in 30 years, okay? How healthy do you want to be? You know, what do you want to do? Do you want to give advice to the youngsters? Do you want to be a teacher? Do you want to be a counselor? Do you want to be a peer support specialist? and just speak to the youngsters what you've been through, like what I'm doing now, and help others and help them get clean, okay? So where do you want to be in 50 years? If you're 20 years old, you can live to be 50 more years. You'll be about 70 years old. One of my doctors was about 70 years old. He's doing fine. He's still working. He's 70 years old as a psychiatrist, okay? So some people still work at a very old age. And so where do you want to be in 10, 20, 30 years, 40, 50 years, okay? Think about your whole life. If you want to live to be 100 years old, at least 100 years old, right? About 100 years old. You want to preserve yourself. You want to leave your legacy. You want to be that wise old person on the block that people remember. You made it this far. You struggled this much, but you made it as far as you did, and you made this much impact in people's lives. You changed people's lives. You got people clean. You got them off the street. You helped them renounce their citizenship from gangs. You helped them find work as a plumber, electrician, HVAC technician. You know, you helped them get good jobs, and you helped them take care of their families. And they started families. Now these children are here, and now they need to learn from someone wise and someone who's been through the struggles and trials and tribulations that you've been through, okay? So live to be as long as possible. Don't be like, well, we only live once and might as well be crazy and risk it all and all that. No, you have to be safe and stable, have security, be a protector. You're a survivor. You want to survive. You don't want to just risk everything that's been given to you, everything your parents have gone through to keep you alive, everything all the soldiers have gone through to keep you alive and safe in America, all the wars that have been fought, all the famine, disease, droughts, you know, and all the wars and you know, COVID-19, people have died, millions of people, you know, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people throughout the centuries, and you're alive, you're a survivor, okay? Don't let that go to waste. Don't disrespect that. You're disrespecting that if you risk, you know, your own life and your own health and mental and physical health. And you want to be a protector. You don't want to let your family down. You don't want to let your kids down. You don't want to let your family down, okay? You want to be there to speak up for them. You want to stand up for them. Stand up for yourself, okay? Stand up for yourself. This is what you need to do now, okay? You have these drug dealers attacking you. Drug dealers, the cartel, selling you drugs. You need to stand up for yourself. Be a man, be a woman. You know, tell them you don't want drugs anymore. Disconnect with them. Do something. Be strong. Be strong. Get out there. Change your location. You know, change your name if you have to, you know, legally, and just don't get caught doing drugs, because you're gonna get laced with fentanyl. All it takes is one time, and it still happens over 70,000 times a year. That's about 196 people a day, almost 200 people a day, every single day still die from fentanyl overdose. You don't want that to be your children. You don't want to set that example for your family. Set a positive example and be a leader, okay? You need to lead, okay? As a leader, and you're leading by example, if you're doing drugs, you're setting a poor example for your family, or your children, or your mother, your father, your brothers and sisters, your cousins, right? You want to be a soldier in the family, a general in the family, maybe the captain of your ship. You're going to be the captain of your ship, and if you're a captain in your family, that means you're a leader. You're selling the winds, right? You're selling your boat, and you need to be able to, you know, the ones are going to be pushing you and blowing you in different directions, and you need to be strong, okay? You need to hold sturdy. And be strong, okay? Tell these drug dealers off, F off, you know? Be strong, like I said, have discipline, have strength, mental fortitude, and push through this. Detox, get the help you need, rehab, detox, recovery center, and disconnect all social media, delete all social media, change your phone number. That's the other thing I almost forgot to mention. Change your phone number, because they can contact you, right? They could text you, they could call you. Even if you disconnect them, they know your number, okay? So change your phone number. Call your AT&T, Verizon Wireless, T-Mobile, whoever you got, and tell them you want to change your number. Even if it costs you money, it might cost $30-something, just tell them you're getting harassed, and they might waive the fee, okay? But if there is a fee, just pay it. Pay it, change your phone number. Don't tell anyone you don't trust your new phone number. Only give it to your family, right? And friends you trust with your life who are sober and clean and are doing drugs. Change your phone number, okay? The drug dealers can't call you if they don't have your phone number. They can't text you, and you don't have social media. They can't get a hold of you. And if you have to, change your email, right? Just change it, delete it, or just disregard it. Get a new email, set up a new email, delete your old email, just delete it if they have your email, okay? You don't want any drug dealers contact you. You don't even want to have to deal with it. Because once you delete it and you know they don't have your information anymore, they can't get a hold of you, they're out of your headspace. They're out of your headspace. You're on a whole new mission. You're on a whole new life, and you're starting fresh. You don't have to deal with it anymore. You don't have to deal with people coming up to you asking you for drugs on the internet, social media, your phone, computer, none of that. And so now you have a new life. Your whole focus is applying to 1,000 jobs, detoxing, getting medical help, getting an AA sponsor, changing your phone number, okay? Living the American dream, being a survivor, being a protector, okay, for your family, setting a positive example for your family and your children, okay? That's what I want to say for now. I hope you found this message useful, and thank you. You can do it, all right? I believe in you. Stay safe. We're going to get together, and if, you know, with more members, we can play chess together. That's a cognitive boosting game. It can boost cognitive functioning, memory, concentration, focus, attention, and spatial thinking, you know? So chess is a great game. We could get online, play some virtual chess where we can meet on Microsoft Teams, you know, face-to-face over a cup of coffee, talk about recovery, what you're going through. I could be a coach. I'm a recovery coach, nationally certified, you know, life coach, recovery coach, and intervention professional. And if you don't want to do that, that's fine. But that's just one thing we can do. Have, you know, the members get together, help each other out, but also play chess together. So we have an activity to do. If you're completely going insane, and crazy from withdrawal symptoms, and you're addicted to drugs, you don't know, you're going crazy, you don't know what to do, you have an imbalance from all the drugs and all that, you're depressed and all that, play some chess with a friend or family. Play some chess with me. We'll get together, we'll talk, and play some chess, okay? Online. And that's just one thing I know that's helped me, because when I was in the psych ward, I played chess every single day for 5 hours a day, minimum, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day, from breakfast to evening till dinner. Well, I had just one friend. He was like my best friend in the hospital that, you know, he was a college student. We played chess all day. We go eat, you know, and we go eat, and that's it. Eat, play chess, drink some water, play chess. That's it all day. And we played three games at once. So we had 3 chess boards, you know, on a table. We played 3 games at once simultaneously. That boosts cognitive function. If you're a drug addict, that's going to increase cognitive functioning. That's going to increase memory, focus, attention, you know, spatial thinking, all that stuff. And it's going to help your brain regrow itself, you know, build those neural connections, okay? So that's just a game that I recommend. You could do Scrabble, you could do Sudoku, you could do different games, word searches and things like that. That's just something that I'm into and I recommend. So I hope, like I said, you got something out of this. This is one of my best messages yet. And I know that it can help if you listen and you pay attention and you do these things, that you will get clean and you can get better. You can set that positive example and live the American dream, okay? Live the best life you can. You don't need drugs to have fun. You could do everything you can do sober 1,000,000 times better than you would drunk or high. If you're drunk or high, you're going to be a lot worse in anything you do. If you're sober, competent, and clean, you're going to be 100,000,000 times better at anything you do, anything, okay? Especially raising a family, raising children, you know, and building those relationships, you know, and being a person of good character, okay? So that's what I'll say for now. Stay safe, okay? And take care.